Barbie.
But if we put our boobs together, we can think better.
You play that character so well, and you and Christia were so fucking funny. And like, you're clearly you're not a dumb blonde. But so let's talk about that. Like, how much of that do you have in you? Is that just like a childlike playfulness, or was that like truly a character? Did you think this through ahead of time, or did it just sort of come out that way?
I think it's funny. It's like humorous to me to kind of say the dumbest thing I could think of. So I think it came from a like humorous situation. But I do know that they said going into filming, you're going to be, the typical like ditzy blonde. So I was thinking of, really playing that up. So it just came out the way it came out. But I do think, while it's easy to kind of just say like the dumbest thing, it's not always as easy to create like a funnier situation. So I felt like it was kind of like cleverness, but it did come off as like a ditziness too.
I wish I was as strong as I look. I would love more than nothing for him to at least hang out for 10 more seconds. How did I miss it already? Where did it go? I was there. I was there, but I want to hang with him now.
I actually really thought it was clever. And that was a lot of the reason that I was drawn to you on a friendship level. I thought you were so funny, and you had some really iconic lines. Like, I think you and I were sitting together, and I don't know what we were talking about, but you're like, I miss my cat abnormally. And the thing is, I totally got it, because I'm like, yeah, I miss my dogs abnormally. I totally get where you're coming from. Well, so I also loved how quickly you and Christia became friends, and you were like, oh, she's my best friend. Was that genuine? And did you continue a friendship with Christia after the shows?
I do feel like, I don't know, her and I clicked pretty quickly, like normally with blonde girls. That's typical.
Chrissy and I are standing by the bar, and we decide that we should be best friends because we're both blonde, and, we can bond over that. And we're very much alike, so we're like, okay, we can be the Barbie twins. Regardless, you're my girlfriend. Hey, you're my girlfriend. And he's our boyfriend. Yay!
But she and I did not stay friends. I could sense there was something off, but I didn't put my finger on it. And then when the show ended, and I had an apartment in LA where I needed a roommate. So I told her about it. I flew to Minnesota, like helped her move in with me, drove her truck all the way back. We got car trouble in Utah, all this stuff. And then she moved in with me just to like say all these horrible things, and then end up like leaving and stealing a bunch of stuff from my apartment.
Oh my God, are you serious?
She was horrible.
Oh, wow. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm really surprised. Yeah. I wouldn't expect something like that from her. I mean, I didn't know her that well, but I'm still surprised.
It was more or less that she didn't like Chris Crocker.
Oh, I remember him. Okay, so for you guys who are watching this, Chris was the one who sort of became a famous internet sensation from the Leave Britney Alone videos, right?
Right.
Leave her alone!
Chris and I became friends from MySpace, because MySpace was great back then. And he messaged me. I was a fan of his videos, and he messaged me that he was a fan of Rock of Love. So I was like, oh my God. When he started getting fame for the Leave Britney Alone, he wanted to come out to LA. So I was like, come out here, come stay with me. And she immediately just was like, I think she was jealous that instead of us being best friends and being all over LA, now it was kind of like me and Chris. Me and Chris were instant friends. She got mad one night that he borrowed her shoes or something, and I don't know. She left like a couple days later, but she was sure to steal a whole bunch of things from me too. So I'm like,
oh man. Well, so tell me about how did you and Brandy C connect so quickly? Did she approach you? Did you approach her? Did it just kind of happen mutually, or how did that? Do you remember how that happened?
Do you remember when we were all in the hotel? Yeah, beforehand, and I think she came up to me in the hotel before we headed over to the house, and she had said something like she owned the same dress that I had on that I was wearing that day. She was like, oh my gosh, I have that same dress and I almost wore it today. And I was like, oh, that would have been crazy. You should have, we would have been twins.
Oh my God, we're like twins. Kind of, but sort of, but not really, but still like twins.
That would have been amazing.
And I think that's how she initially befriended me. And then we just clicked. I don't know. We just hit it off, you know? She was so much fun. And like, I don't know. We just had a blast. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, I liked how like Brandy C was definitely ballsy at times.
Oh my gosh, she was so smart. She was so smart. You know, her last name, Cunningham, I think that is like a fitting last name for her. Like, she is a Cunningham.
I love him.
Why do you?
Why do I love him? I don't even know why I love him. It's purely surreal. I love him because of the man that he is and the man that he wants to be.
That's Jerry Maguire.
She knows when to be like, she had like really good comedic timing for things and like really smart about how to play that game on there. Like, she was very smart about it.
But I always thought that they had edited the part where he was telling you your tour ends here and you were shaking your head no. So actually quite a few people did ask about this, and they were saying it was sort of like an awkward moment, and people were getting the feeling that it was like a producer created moment.
No.
Like, was it something that you legitimately were confused or you didn't understand, or was it something that was like in editing to make you look weird or bad? What's your take on that?
Well, when I went to the show, coming from Beauty and the Geek, like, they really stress like authenticity, honesty. There was no manipulation, no trickery, nothing going on. And so naively, I assumed that's how it was on reality shows. So when I came to Rock of Love, I really thought it was, he was really trying to find a partner or a girlfriend or someone to take on tour with him.
And there's just something inside of me that says, I can't seem to get to that next level. I just don't think it's going to work for us. Okay?
But I had a boyfriend at home and I really had no interest in him at all the whole time. I just wanted to have a good time. Producers kept coming up to me and saying, do you notice how other girls are talking about Brett, how they're crying about him, saying they're falling in love with him, saying, he's so hot or whatever. You need to do that. And I was like, I didn't get it. I didn't understand. Like, if you don't do this, you're not going to be here much longer. Like, you have to show some type of interest in him. So even after a couple times of being told, like, you need to start saying like, oh, I really like him at least. I didn't pick up on it, So when at that point, when I was like down to 5 girls and I had never even said I liked him and I had no relationship with him at all. And then my ex-boyfriend came on and I was, drunk and a little bit upset about him or whatever. When right before the elimination, I was talking with Brett and he was like trying to make out with me, and I knew he wasn't mad at me at all, So when I got eliminated, that was like the light bulb finally went off in my head.
Megan is just standing there and Brett clearly wants her out of this house. She just doesn't understand.
Baby, I really tried. I mean, I did.
Like, this is not real. Like, he's not mad at me. He's not upset about my ex-boyfriend. Like, this is all bullshit.
Right.
Or, even if you're thinking that, I don't think you're supposed to start saying that.
Right.
So when I'm shaking my head at the elimination, I'm going, this isn't real. This isn't real.
That makes sense.
I cannot believe it. I really thought that me and Brett were falling in love. I really did have feelings for Brett, and it hurts that he didn't see that.
Just give me a kiss,
No. It's not for real.
That makes sense.
And that is what the other girls are like, oh my God, I can't believe she's saying that. That's when you're seeing like this strong reaction from other girls at the elimination, is because I'm repeatedly saying drunk, this isn't real, and shaking my head.
you just became aware in that moment, like literally right then and there was you're like, oh, wait a second, this is just for a good TV show. This isn't like him trying to find love. So that's when you got it figured out.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Right. So when I realized that, I just, like couldn't contain myself.
That makes
so
sense.
They had to edit it.
It makes sense for the perceived confusion perceived from the viewer's perspective.
So she told me I win a solo date. I feel so awesome that I can be solo with her.
Fox. Is there anything that happened on Daisy of Love that you kind of want to clear the air? Like, was there something that was edited a certain way?
Obviously they made me look like the dumbass, the good-looking guy that was, stupid and not smart.
It's about, dating someone that can, be on your level and being like, I'm going out tonight. And then you're like, okay, then I'm going out too. And then you're like, in the back of your head, you're like, wow, oh my God.
Okay, well, I just feel like we're having a missed connection for some reason.
And there's people that they're not, and there's people that they are, So I'm like, but at the same time, like, who would and who do you think wouldn't?
But the thing is, they had to make everyone look like a character, and, I was who I was.
What am I going to do, dude?
Pick your bass up. I'm going to throw him a bass, teach him how to play real fast.
Daisy, Daisy, you're my flower.
Where does that fit in?
Yeah. I think at his point, he's just got to look good, and that'll be pretty much his part of this band.
Everyone else on the show was who they were. But when you sign the contract for them to edit you the way they want you.
I'm out. Like sauerkraut, But, that doesn't mean that I'm gone. I'm sorry that, it had to not end this way because I know that, times are endless. And I just wanted to let her know that I'm just so sorry that it had to end this way, knowing the fact that this situation had to occur.
So, I was all for it, but at the end of the day, I ended up winning at the end.
You are right. They do want everybody to be
a character, right?
So,
exactly.
Especially I feel like on Daisy
right,
of Love.
Right.
Yeah.